I was going to say welcome to Moments to Rock by Tony, but you're already here. So I'll still welcome you. The 80s was an amazing time for U2. A phenomenal time, in fact. I mean, we go back to Red Rocks, the 5th of June, 1983. Live Aid, of course, the 13th of July, 1985. The Unforgettable Fire was released in October 84. That was followed up by the Joshua Tree in March of 1987. It was incredible. In that time, I was just working on Piccadilly Radio in Manchester. I had my own PR company, but I got enlisted to do a radio show. We didn't know if it'd work or not, but it lasted 12 and a half years, so somebody must have been listening. In that time, I had an interview with The Edge on the first anniversary of my radio show. When he phoned up to wish us happy birthday, that's one of our podcasts on here. Another one is an interview with Adam the Edge, and then there's Bodo and the Edge. And all those will be pieced together. I also have Malcolm Gary, who was the guy who took his crew over from Newcastle in England to film Red Rocks, which was a monumental, one of the greatest rock films in rock history. So we'll have 4 episodes on Moments to Rock by Tony with U2. So please go and tell your friend and subscribe. And if you do, I promise I will change and cancel my paper round. Thank you.
Hello?
Hello, who's that?
Hello. Tony, this is the Edge here from U2. I'm just ringing up to wish you a happy birthday and for the first birthday of the last radio show.
Oh, well, that's very decent of you indeed. I'm very grateful. How sweet of you. Listen, I had a phone call on Friday from REM. They said they thoroughly enjoyed your show and performing with you at Milton Keynes.
Yeah, they're a great bunch of guys, actually. We had them over to Dublin as well for our show in Croke Park.
How did that go?
It was amazing.
Was that about the same amount of people, Edge?
In fact, a little more than we had at Milton Keynes, I think. The restrictions at Milton Keynes were around 50,000. We were allowed to sell upwards of 60,000 tickets for the Irish show, so it was about 60. But it was a great day. I mean, you can imagine what a recipe for an occasion. U2 playing the hometown after 2 years of absence, and it was also Dublin's festival week, so everybody was in incredibly kind of jubilant form. It was amazing. We just lit the touch paper and stood back, and the whole thing just went.
Did you have better weather?
Yeah, that was another plus point. I mean, the Milton Keynes show was, it wasn't spoiled by the rain. Far from it. In fact, it was an extremely good show. I mean, our audience were unbelievable. But the Croke Park show had better weather, and I think as a result, people were more relaxed, and it was just a sort of carnival atmosphere in the audience. So, I mean, it was just one of those once-in-a-lifetime experiences, really. It was great. I was proud to be on stage, really.
Yeah. It is, in fact, it's not only just our birthday, Ed. You've got something to celebrate yourself, haven't you? I mean, it's virtually the end of your world tour. You've been on tour since August the 29th.
That's right, yeah. It seems like we've been on tour for the whole of our lives, but it's been such an incredible tour for us. It's been a transition, I suppose, in the States and in England and Europe as well, for the group, from being a kind of fairly up-and-coming successful group to being, I suppose, just one of the most successful groups around. And, it's been so significant for us that it's been on this album, the Unforgettable Fire record, produced by Brian Eno, our attempt to break the mold and step out in a new direction that has been the album that has brought us up to this level. It's been great, and it indicates to me that the true understanding that people have of the group, the people that buy our album.
I remember talking to you at the NEC gig, that one of the last dates on the British tour in the autumn, and you were saying that your show is much more geared towards stadiums now, isn't it? After playing like the small intimate clubs and then the concert halls, and now here you are playing like with 30,000 people or people sat in a field watching you.
Yeah, it's been a difficult transition, and for a long time we were extremely nervous about it. When we first started playing, that was the last thing that we ever imagined happening. Us ended up in stadiums, or arenas. It just seemed totally inappropriate. But as the band has developed and having played a couple of the shows over a year ago, we figured out that actually it wasn't such an odd situation to see you two. And at this stage now, having experienced them a lot, we discovered that we're extremely at home in arenas, and that far from our show suffering, it seems to just become far bigger and rise to the challenge of these larger venues. It's remarkable. I mean, I'm sure that people at the very back get a different show to people down the front. But as far as I'm concerned, having played these places, it's the audience themselves that make the whole thing work, not necessarily the group on stage. And our audiences, they seem to be just so positive that no matter where you are in an arena or in the stadium, the atmosphere is the same. And that's the thing that people really, I think, come to our shows for. There's that total positive feeling amongst all the people.
I suppose 11,000 for a U2 gig like the NEC isn't that many nowadays, is it? The actual sound inside there could have been a small club.
Yeah, I mean, something that someone said to me, which I really believe is true. You can go to a club where there's 10 people and feel absolutely nothing, totally cut away from what's going on stage. And yet you can be in an arena and feel just almost like you're on stage with the band themselves. I don't believe that the venues are the problem. I think if the show doesn't have that spark, it's the band and the audience that are involved.
What are you going to do with yourself now, Ed? I mean, now you're not going to have any gigs. You can't get 50,000 people in your living room.
True. Well, we've got a lot of stuff we have to do. We have this Unforgettable Fire album out now, for a year, and we want to start getting back into the studio and writing some songs. So we're doing 3 more shows, and then we call it a day for our next record. We're doing 2 festivals in Belgium, 2 in Werchter, and then we're doing the famous Band-Aid show.
Of course, yeah.
14th July at Wembley. So we're almost on the last lap, What a way to finish. I think that shows, it's already, legendary status. I can't wait till, it actually happens. I think it's going to be great.
That's going to be quite an emotional occasion, isn't it?
Oh yeah. I should imagine there'll be very few dry eyes behind stage after that one.
A potential audience of 1 billion, is that right?
I think when you add up all the TV stuff, it must easily be that.
No bum notes there, eh, Edge?
Well, we've got 4 songs. It's not like a whole set, so we're extremely anxious to pull it off without any hitches or that. Yeah.
Do you know what you're going to be doing?
There are some obvious contenders, but we haven't actually picked before. I mean, stuff like I Will Follow Sunday, Bloody Sunday, New Year's Day, Unforgettable Fire, Pride. I mean, these are the songs that we're talking about, but because, as I say, we've got 20 minutes, which really means about 4 songs, we're going to have to leave some classics out. We're just going to have to decide. I presume it'll probably be the day before or something. What things you just get on that stage and you do it or you don't. And I think in the past we're quite good at that. We have this reputation for being the kind of underdogs that really happened on the day. So we're keeping our fingers crossed that we still have that ability.
One thing, guys, last time we spoke, you spoke about all these outtakes from the Unforgettable Fire, and we've seen quite a few on B-sides and things now.
Yeah.
I've just got this brilliant version of Bad, U2 Wide Awake in America.
That's the live version.
Where was that recorded?
In fact, that I think might be the NEC show.
Oh, really?
We did a little bit of catching up on some of the vocals because Bono was having a lot of problems hearing himself on that show. But as far as I know, it's the NEC show.
Oh, that's great. I was there. Wonderful.
Yeah. And it's a great version. It really is. It's got so much power to it.
Just before you go, can I ask you one question? When we spoke, you said you had a whole bunch of material that you'd written for the Unforgettable Fire. When you come to make your new album, are you going to ditch that, or are you going to go and write a whole bunch of new songs again?
I'm sure we'd write again, but I wouldn't discount the possibility of some of those unfinished works turning up as finished pieces on the next record. When we start recording, we will go for whatever we find around ourselves, and we can dig up some really old backing tracks, old forgotten ideas, and sometimes they just inspire us to work on them again and produce finished work. Sometimes that really works out very well.
So when can we expect to realistically see U2 tour Britain again? Are we looking towards the autumn of '86?
Oh, blimey. I suppose it's definitely not going to be early in '86. I would imagine, late '86. Probably be doing a few shows.
Would you want to get an album out for the spring?
I doubt if we'll have it out by then. I think we'll probably have the album out by the summer, maybe early autumn, and be touring sort of around that same time.
Brian Eno again?
That's still not decided. I think there's a a good chance that Danny and Brian will be involved, but we still haven't, decided finally. In a way, I think, in the same way that Unforgettable Fire, the song's decided the producer. I think it might well be that way again.
Well, listen, Edge, I do appreciate you calling. I mean, this means a lot to me, and I'm very, very grateful, especially on one of those rare U2 days off. I know you want to spend it with your family. And Holly's birthday next week.
That's right, yeah.
So I'm not one to mither you anymore. I don't need to wish you good luck, because I think there's millions and millions of people all over the world behind you, and your records are only getting better anyway.
Oh, well, thank you, Tony. You're very kind.
What a sycophant, eh?
Well, listen, have a good show, it's great to think that you've been on the air for a whole year.
Great or a miracle?
Yeah, it seems like only yesterday that, you were telling us about your show, and, everyone was really excited about it, so
well, listen,
congratulations.
Well, thank you very much for all the support, and I sincerely hope that we'll have a chat when you're back in Manchester. It doesn't really matter. I mean, I'll come anywhere to talk to you, let's face it.
Okay, Tim.
Love to all the family, Edge. Is there anything you want to hear that I can play for you after this interview, rather than instead of just your own stuff? Any particular favourite?
Well, actually, of the stuff that we've just released, I really like the Three Sunrises. I think that's got a lot of...
Okay, but apart from your own material, is there anything by anybody else you might want to hear?
Something from the Waterboys would be nice.
Great. Honestly, next to yourselves, the most letters I get are about the Waterboys, and we're hoping to put a concert on by the Waterboys in the autumn. So,
great.
I'll tell you what, I thought of playing Savage Earthheart this week.
Yeah, why not?
So maybe I'll play that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
The Edge, love to everyone out there.
Okay.
Thank you very much indeed.
Okay, Tony, listen, it was a pleasure.